Hello everybody, welcome to the TeacherCast Educational Network. My name is Jeff Bradbury. Thank you so much for joining us today and making TeacherCast your home for professional development. This is a very special episode of the TeacherCast podcast. We are here live from Seattle, Washington at the ISTE Creative Constructor Lab. We have for us three amazing guests today that are here to talk all about creativity and why it's important to break those walls in your classrooms and provide amazing instruction for your students. I want to introduce our guests today. In fact, why don't we actually have our guests introduce themselves? Claudia, how are you today?
I'm doing well. My name is Claudio Zavala. I am an instructional tech coordinator in Duncanville, Texas.
And talk to us a little bit about some of the great stuff you're doing in Texas, because I see you all over social media. You are a wealth of information, and I will start by saying you have helped TeacherCast out an awful lot. Thank you so much for that. What's going on in Texas?
Well, I am working with K-12 educators, helping them integrate technology tools in the classroom. It's about, for me, first I like developing relationships with them, build trust. That way, when I have something to share with them, it's really not just coming from, this is, you have to do this. It's more of listening to them, what are their needs, and then just giving them some tips on what they can do in the classroom.
Now, let's see. I want to bring over here from the great state of Washington, Joe Doherty. Joe, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a digital media teacher at Mount Si High School in the Snoqualmie School District, which is just about 30 miles east of Seattle here.
And talk to us a little bit about your students. What's going on this year? What's exciting and what's new?
Oh my gosh, so much. I have a great group of kids this year, and we're having a lot of fun. We do a lot of projects. We're really a project-based classroom. Right now, we're designing coffee sleeves for a fundraiser we're going to do for our local food bank.
Awesome.
We just got done designing coins for a coin challenge. We're going to give the kids that commit to being serving in our military a challenge coin. So it's actually, we're designing them, and it's in the contest phase right now. We've given the coins to the judges, and they're picking the coins. So there's a coin for each branch of the military. And I've got, 10, 15 coins that they get to choose from. And so that's a neat design challenge that we're doing.
That is certainly creative.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you guys are thinking outside of the box, thinking outside of the walls of your classroom. And when it comes to thinking about these ideas and having the right tools from it, there's no better company out there to partner up with than Adobe. And I want to bring on from Adobe,
Matt Linford.
Matt Linford, how are you today, Matt? Welcome to the show. Talk to us a little bit about yourself. And why is Adobe here today? What is going on in Adobe?
Adobe's got a lot of amazing things going on right now, and we're here to really spread the word out about some amazing tools we have available that are both, a lot of people, when they think of Adobe, they think about the typical Creative Cloud stuff like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Illustrator, that type of stuff. But we also have some amazing apps like Spark, and the main reason we're here is to really get the word out about Spark. And then also we have the new product Rush that just was launched, and I'm here. My role within Adobe is actually the Spark evangelist. So I can obviously speak more towards the Spark side of things, but we're just excited to be at an event like this where we can really help teachers understand how they have tools at their fingertips that is free, it's easy to get into, it's easy to use, and really kind of get that creativity really flowing with some amazing tools that Adobe has.
Well, thank you guys for being here. I'm looking forward to a great conversation. If you guys are out there and want to be a part of this conversation, you can always reach out to us online. You can find us on Twitter at TeacherCast. Leave us a voice message over at teachercast.net/voicemail. And of course, email us all your questions over at feedback@teachercast.net. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you guys are thinking. It has been a great weekend here. And I just want to kind of start to throw off the question here. We're here at the Creative Constructor Lab. Claudia, what does creativity have to do with education in 2018? What does creativity mean for you and your students?
Well, it's giving them opportunities I like saying, to be messy. And I think for many years, I'll speak for my own kids, like my own children, my own two kids that I have. There was a point in time where he loved school. I'm talking about my son, and he was always drawing, always enjoyed being in school, was so excited about it. But at some point, it just they got to middle school, and it seemed like they didn't have a chance to do that any longer. And I think he suffered for it. He's still creative in his own way, but I think the love of that was gone. And I think in 2018 we have to give our students the opportunity to make a mess of things when they're learning, try things out. And I think teachers are scared to release that. Teachers are worried, like everything's supposed to be in order, but it's really not. You don't have to worry about things being in order.
But why is that? Is it teachers are scared of being judged, being observed, being that one outside of the box? I mean, we're both tech coaches here. We work with teachers who are in the groove. We work with teachers who are out of the groove, and we work with teachers who don't know that a groove exists. How do you start this conversation of no, guys, it's okay, jump with me?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think there's worried about being judged. There's also worried about, I don't know if I can do it myself. And so when I work with teachers, I say, it's just give it a try. Don't worry. You're going to make a mistake. That's fine. That's okay. I think for so long, the right answer, we've been always looking for the right answer, and I think we've been conditioned to that. And I think educators, those maybe my age, maybe conditioned to think there has to be the right answer. There's only one way to get to that point. There's multiple ways to get there.
And Joe, what do you think about all this? As we're going through here, Claudio says there's no right way to get to the right answer. What do you think?
I think it's about exploring how to solve problems or exploring what you're interested and passionate about. This year I started like the 20%, I'm calling it my passion project or Passion Fridays. We have an early release on Friday, so I just had 30 minutes with the kids every Friday. It wasn't really enough time to dive into lessons, so I'm giving it back to the kids to explore and to push themselves into areas that they're not comfortable with, or maybe they're an animation kid, but they're interested in this Photoshop stuff, or they want to make a video and they never have the time to do that. So giving them time is really critical, and giving them then, resources like, we just got a new 3D printer, or we just discovered the laser cutter engraver in our school, and I don't know how to use it. So let's explore it together. And we've been making some really fun, cool things, merging the two technologies together and just, exploring. And I guess for me as a teacher, that's where I get excited. That's where I get passionate and re-energized when there's something new. And so finding those new tools and exploring ways that kids can use them is really fun.
I love the idea here about finding the things that are new, easy, and time-saving, and that is exactly why I'm excited about the great things that are coming out from Adobe Spark. Talk to us a little bit about what Spark is and why it's making such an impact in today's classrooms.
Yeah. So Spark is a web and mobile tool that allows teachers and students to create very visual, impactful, and powerful stories through video, through web page. So the web pages are like a magazine-style web story, and then of course we have graphics as well. And those tools are Spark Page, Spark Post, and Spark Video. Right? Those are the three main tools within the Spark family. And the way that that's been impacting students and teachers is it gives them a way to create in not just something that's simple and easy to use, but something that they can also use in multiple different areas and different locations throughout their day-to-day lives, right? So they have the mobile tools within there that they can actually create something on their phone, save it, and it's constantly saving to a cloud area where they can basically create wherever they're at. So it's really taking creativity and putting it in a very easy-to-use format and something that they can do on the go. So it's really, really powerful stuff.
And I love the fact that, as you're saying, it's easy and mobile. It's really for students of all ages, right? And for students of all subject areas. Now, Claudio, you get a chance to work with teachers all across the board here. What are some of the things that you're finding that is exciting teachers that they're going, hey, I want to try that in my classroom?
Well, I think specifically I'm going to speak for using the Adobe Spark suite. I think for the most part, teachers see that it's so easy to use and they can implement in the classroom. and that you can create on the go. And I think most, I want to say all of them, but most teachers have a mobile device themselves, so they can create something on the go. And then many schools are using devices in the classroom that students can use and borrow, or have maybe one-to-one, depending on what they have, that they themselves can. They learn it, and then they can share it with their students. And the other day I was with a group of students, and they were like, this is really easy to use. This is simple. It's not hard.
And the products that you can create from Spark are wonderful. They're professional looking. Students, middle school, high school, can really come out with a great looking project that they can share not just with those in their local community, but really worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, it's really impacting. It's really impacting all age groups within K through 12, right? I mean, we're seeing students as young as 5, 6, 7 years old that are creating these really amazing videos, and then we have high school students that are really engaging and really finding new ways to tell their stories through something like web page, right? Or through Spark page, where they can basically use an alternative to say something like a word processor and really create something that jumps out of the page and something that is just really impactful for them and also the audience that they're trying to reach.
Now, in addition to the great apps for the Adobe Spark suite, there's also something brand new. Joe, could you talk to us a little bit about Adobe Rush?
I would love to, but first, I want to tell you that Spark is not just for kids. Spark is for staff as well. So our staff love it. They love making lesson plans with Spark. They make tutorials with Spark. Our counselors are making videos that they're showing on our Wildcat TV about the things that they want to communicate out to the students. Our district PR person's using it, so it's not just for students. It's a great communication tool. It's easy to use. You could even train an administrator. So that's saying something. No, just kidding, you guys.
That's the quote for the podcast.
Yeah.
Train an administrator. Good.
Okay, so we've been talking about mobile, right? Spark is a mobile tool. Well, Adobe came out with a brand new, awesome video editor called Adobe Premiere Adobe Premiere Rush. I still got that name down. And you can edit video on your phone. It's also synced to your desktop, so you can start on your phone and then go to your desktop. But as a video editor that often is on the go, editing on an airplane or at an event, I can shoot on my phone, edit on my phone. And the things that you can do on your phone now, I couldn't do on my high-end desktop 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, for example, I can shoot it and then color correct it or color grade it right on my phone in this app. It's an amazing app that usually I'd take about a week to teach my kids. It took me one period to teach my kids this. And now this is the app that they want to use. So it's great.
It's amazing here. ISTE has brought together hundreds of amazing educators from literally across the country. When I came here, I thought this was going to be a local conference. There's people here from Georgia, from Utah, from Kentucky, from Florida, from you name the time zone. Yesterday I did 2 presentations on podcasting, and it's amazing how many people are looking to use media, video, audio, all of these great tools. And ISTE is now creating these mini conferences to really help teachers learn how to be creative. What makes the ISTE conference so important, Claudia? Why come back to ISTE? What makes ISTE so special?
Well, I was first of all, I was super impressed by when I got here. I've been to the ISTE National Conference. This one is very intimate.
Yes.
You can see everybody and talk with everybody. There's opportunities to connect with so many other educators and network and learn from others, ask questions. If you're listening to this and you didn't make it out to this Creative Constructor conference, you need to make it the next time it's available.
And there's going to be many more.
Yes.
Right? There's a leadership conference coming up.
Yes. Yeah. It's just I would, if it's in your town, take advantage of it, and if your school will let you go for it.
Of course, you can find out more information over at isteconference.org.
I think so.
And all the great stuff. Of course, I'm looking forward to Philadelphia this summer. Being in my hometown, I'm looking forward to, I always call it home field advantage, right? Because you get a chance to sit there and do all those great things. If you guys are coming out to ISTE, check out the great stuff in Philadelphia. Have a cheesesteak, have a pretzel. Do you have any great memories of the ISTE conference or anything that you might have done that was exciting for you?
This one?
Or even in past ISTEs?
Well, yeah, I think it's about connecting with other educators and sharing ideas and being re-energized by hearing the cool things that other people are doing. So I think that's a really key thing. And this conference, they've done a fantastic job of connecting us
Right.
with each other. And like Claudia said, it just feels a lot more intimate. And I've made connections with people that, when there's 14,000 people, it's a little different than when there's 200 people. So this has been a great experience.
But I love the idea of intimacy, connecting. Now, as far as Adobe's concerned, this is a chance for you guys to get in front of your users and get great feedback, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic to be able to have, like Claudia said, it's more of an intimate environment. The discussions we're having here are very, very impactful. The feedback that we're able to get, pretty much instantaneously from teachers as we walk through things. Like for me, I can speak to Spark. When we're walking through Spark tools, it's amazing to see the feedback that we're getting almost immediately. So yeah, absolutely, there's some major value there.
So what are some of the takeaways that we have here? Is there something that you've picked up this week and that you might go back to your teachers, even those administrators, and say, look, we need to try it and go in this direction?
I really liked Rebecca Hare's presentation on creativity. I thought that was really interesting and enjoyed that. I've been taking notes, so let me look that up while.
Claudia, what do you think here? Because I'm looking down here. There's, we're doing stuff in here in 3D, green screening, 3D printing, storytelling. There's so many different things here.
I'm going to concur with Joe in regards to Rebecca's keynote yesterday. Just the discussion about creativity and how she was sharing some data on how at a certain point it just stops. But I think that was great. But something that I want to take back is design. It was the session that I attended. Manuel Herrera was talking about sketchnoting, and it was really just writing down the ideas that you have, illustrating them, just kind of visually thinking. I think that's just powerful, and that's something I want to take back, and even for myself, to use it more, but even to share it with others and say, this is another way that your students can share their thinking, visualize it, and it really can make it, maybe even just kind of cement it for them.
I think it's easy to come to a conference like this and get that window shine. If you're looking at that thing going, that's really, really neat. But for everybody, you go back to school tomorrow and you're back into your reality.
Yeah.
And you and I as tech coaches, we're sitting there going, all right, how do we take this and then implement it, to share it, to change it, to mold our school district in here? Joe, what advice do you have for anybody that might be coming to this conference or coming to the Philadelphia conference, and then they go back and they're back to their norms? How do you start the change in your school district to really bring innovation and creativity in?
I guess the first step is in your classroom. Start implementing it yourself and experimenting and learning, and then communicate that out. Share it. Your local newspaper wants to be in your classroom and tell that story. Reach out, talk to them. Your district PR person would love to tell that story. I know Claudia does a fantastic job of getting on Twitter, and there's an awful lot of teachers that are on Twitter that are looking for that information. And then we have the Adobe Education Exchange, and I'm posting lessons on there. So, for example, we were talking about Rush just a little while ago. Well, I was teaching my kids. I made little lessons for my kids. Why not share it? So I put all those lessons on the Adobe Education Exchange. There's 500,000 teachers, other people putting that stuff on there, and that's a great way to communicate and share.
What about you? How do you go back to your school in Texas and say, guys, I just learned all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's Monday for us. How do you start to make change?
Well, the change, I think, it almost happens grassroots for me. Working with teachers, it's just finding there are teachers out there that want to do something. They want to try something new, and it's reaching out. It's as simple as sometimes sending out a mass email to all my campuses and say, hey, here's some ideas. Anybody interested? And I'll get 2 or 3 that respond and was like, I want to try it, and that's how I start. And then it's almost like they start using the tool, they start doing something, and other people notice, like, hey, what are you doing? What is that? I want to do that too. And then sooner or later, it's like, oh, this whole campus it's kind of just grows, and then it's almost like jealousy in a way. People are like, I want to do that. How come I'm not able to do that?
You know, the one thing I love about this conference is that everything here is top notch. As you said, the presenters are top notch. Everybody who's in attendance is top notch. The catering is top notch. But it really is all about what are we taking away from this? What are we bringing out? So I want to do a little round robin here. Give me a resource, maybe a Twitter feed, a hashtag. Give us something that we can take with us and we can start to implement it. I want to start with you. Where do we go to learn more about Adobe and some of the great things that you can do with Adobe Spark?
There's a couple good resources, but I would say the main thing to focus on, and the one thing I would direct people towards, would be our Spark for Education landing page, which is spark.adobe.com/edu, and the edu is an important part there. Go to that website, start scrolling down, and it'll kind of walk you through. They have a lot of resources there where you can walk through how to create an account, how to log in, how to start creating. And again, it doesn't take long to really dive into Spark and start learning it. So that's where I would direct people, is to head to that landing page and start creating.
That's fantastic. Download the free apps, get your kids moving with it. I know I've been using Spark with my 5-year-olds, so it's so easy to use and so robust. Now, Joe, you've got some great resources. Where can somebody head to learn either about Rush, or share with us your favorite resources to go and get inspired by?
I guess my favorite is the Adobe Education Exchange. It's you can take full courses. You can just look for a lesson plan, technical resource. Once you get on there, you can follow people. Like I follow Claudio, and when Claudio posts something, it automatically sends me that information. So it's a great resource, and it's free.
And those are great resources for classroom teachers. I want to end with you here, because as a tech coach, we have similar resources we go to, but as a technology coach, as the person who's charged with teaching and leading others, where do you go for technology coach inspiration? Where do you go to follow on Twitter or on the web?
I'm going to reiterate what Joe said. The Adobe Exchange is a great place to find resources. For myself, honestly, a lot of what I find through social media. I find through Twitter and Instagram. Now I've been picking up Instagram and even on YouTube, just finding people that are doing amazing things. I follow these professional photographers, but I just like little things that I learned from them that I was like, maybe I could apply them in the classroom, do something like that. I don't. And other than putting out a bunch of people, but just like follow hashtag create edu. That's a great one to follow. And then the ISTE is hashtag ISTE, and then there's hashtag ISTE Lab CC. And just get on there. If you're not on social media, just give it a shot. Try. You can kind of look from the outer rim and look, and you don't even have to dig in. But just kind of, people will post content on there like, wow, that's a great idea. I'm going to try that. That's a great place to check out.
And we want to know what you guys are looking for out there. Are there topics that you're looking for? Are there things that you're doing that you're creative? Let us know. You can find us over on Twitter at TeacherCast. Or, of course, leave us a voice message over at teachercast.net/voicemail. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you're doing to be creative. Now, before we go, I want to give you guys a chance to sign off here. Claudia, how do we get in touch with you and learn more about the great things that you're doing down in Texas?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Claudio Zavala Jr. And then my website is iamclaudius.com.
And it is a fantastic website. You guys got to check that out. Joe, what's your handle? How do we find you?
I'm not as active on social media as Claudio, so the best way to find my stuff is to either look on the Adobe Education Exchange and follow me there, or just Google my name, Joe Dockery. I'm going to be the top link in Google, and I've got a great website with hundreds and hundreds of hours of video tutorials that I've made over the years. So go there, check it out.
Excellent. And last but not least, what's the best place to go and learn about Adobe?
We've got a couple of spots. Obviously, that landing page that I mentioned before, but we actually have a Spark, a Facebook page for Spark. I'd highly recommend you guys search for that. Join that group within Facebook that surrounds Spark. Great discussions happening online there, and we have a team of people there that are ready to kind of answer any questions you guys have. And we're very, very active within that Facebook community. So.
And again, we want to know where you guys are. We have had a great weekend here in Seattle. The weather has been good. I think it's safe to say it did not rain at all. And yes, knock on wood, for everybody to get home safely with all of that stuff. Of course, we want to say thank you to ISTE for having us out here and providing this amazing opportunity, not only now, but as Claudia said, throughout the year. There's going to be a lot of great resources. Go on to Twitter and find them at ISTE. Go over to ISTEconference.org. I know one of my personal favorite hashtags is ET Coaches, to learn about all the ISTE EdTech Coaches networks. There's so much stuff down there. And of course, we're looking forward to seeing you guys in Philadelphia for the big ISTE conference at the end of June. And thank you guys one more time for making TeacherCast your home for professional development. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and on behalf of everybody here in the TeacherCast Educational Network, keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.